Hello again, welcome to the Ref Show. What constitutes a big match performance? We think we've got one in the Premier League this week. However, several red cards appear to have gone under the radar. And in the second half of the show, we'll look at the FA making what could be regarded as a start, but only a start towards tackling the subject of cheating. Mark Halsey and David Hurst with us. Before we go to those contentious red cards, or red cards that weren't, Manchester United-Liverpool was the big game of the weekend. Man United won 3-1. Michael Oliver was in charge. Big match performance, said Rob Harris on RefCam. Did you agree? And what does it take?
Yeah, I did. I mean, let's make one point that the intensity wasn't there that you normally get in the Man United-Liverpool games. I mean, I've refereed many and the intensity is immense. But you can only referee what's in front of you. And for me, I thought Michael did ever so well. He managed the players. You know, he read the game, he anticipated play, he was always up there, he was always up behind the players. And once you do that and you're making the correct decisions, your recognition of careless, reckless, excessive force and your accuracy in decision making brings respect from the players and of course makes it easier for the referee to referee the football match. OK, well that's a positive. We've talked, David, about certain injustices for Bournemouth this season. And lo and behold, they get one of the best referees, Martin Atkinson. Can't be an accident. It didn't help them particularly. They lost 3-1 at Norwich, but there were nothing controversial.
No, it was it run smooth. Just touching back on the Manchester game of not intense. The first half, was there anybody playing? You know, that was the situation. So it was very easy to run a game that way. Second half spiced up a little bit, and obviously with the goal situations. But yeah, I mean, an excellent job by the lads. Yeah.
Let's get on to the meat of the show then. Goodison Park, fairly high octane duel here between Everton and Chelsea. Everton winning by 3-1. Jose struggling a bit at the minute. Certain incidents not really highlighted elsewhere, but we think one, borderline 2 red cards should have been.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot to talk about it. I spoke with Richard Keys about the incidents. I mean, well, he sort of phoned me up about it, and you can arguably say that yes, there could have been a red card offence committed by Naismith on Ivanovic. Now, you know, he kicked out at him. On a different day, another referee may have saw it differently. Andre chose not to go looking for trouble and chose to not take any action. As I say, Naismith's a very lucky boy that Andre didn't see the incident.
He stays on and scores a hat-trick, Hursty. Andre Marriner in charge, as you say. That was contentious. But Glenn Turner's comment on RefCam was that they were just, Naismith and Ivanovic were just kicking lumps out of each other in the old-fashioned vernacular and staying on and getting away.
Hey, it's a man's game.
Hey, yeah, it is.
Hey, it's nice to see that 2 guys can get on with it. You know, I mean, and the referee, OK, there was a situation where you could have been producing cars left, right and centre. Didn't do that. Didn't put detriment to the game. You know, the 2 guys are grown lads and they got on with a great slogging match. And
what about the Costa one? The Diego Costa, lucky to stay on, said our RefCam verdict. A hand into Seamus Coleman. What did you think on that?
I mean, we've got to realise as well. We've got to recognise that we've got a lot of young referees watching this show, and you know they'll be sitting there thinking, "Well, hang on a minute. You know, you're saying that. Why is he not?" You know, attempting to kick or kick an opponent is an act of violent conduct, and it's a red card offence. Sure, yeah. So these guys on the park are looking up to the referees at the top of their game to help them and improve. But going back to what you said about the Costa incident with Coleman, yeah, I mean, once again, a different referee on another day may have seen it differently. Obviously, Andre didn't see it, and you have to, as a referee, you have to decide: is it reckless use of the arm? Or is it an act of violent conduct? My opinion on that was it was a reckless use of the arm, and a yellow card should have been issued had Andre seen it.
That's not been the first time that Costa's done that, though, was it?
No, he
has got a bit of a track record. Well, and so he knows that if it was a red,
yeah,
you know, he doesn't have much argument because he's been out there doing it on a frequent basis.
Well, you know, he was lucky because he picked up a yellow card later on for a challenge. It was a nailed-on yellow card for a reckless challenge, and he'd lost his head and he'd gone. But there was another incident on the halfway line where something happened between him and the Everton players, and it doesn't take much to light that fuse, doesn't it? So, but you like to see that aggression in players, but it's got to be controlled, Hursty, isn't it? It's got to be controlled.
Where there's perhaps less debate, Manchester City's win at Crystal Palace to stay top of the table. Mike Jones was in charge here. And the big talking point, or one of two actually, in that game, Scott Dan, only a yellow card for the foul on Aguero that put the City striker out of the game.
Yeah, once again, I talk about recognition, careless, reckless with excessive force.
It was all three.
Well, yeah, and I just think Mike was in a great position, but obviously in real time he didn't want to take any risk. But that was clearly a challenge, in my opinion, that was reckless, that endangered the player's safety. Just the height of the challenge, Hurst.
There's no attempt for the ball.
Yeah, he's got no chance. He's got no chance of playing the ball. He's got no chance of winning the ball. Is he in control of his actions? No, he's not. And is he committing a reckless challenge with endangering the player's safety? Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. Now, if that's a little trip around the ankles, a little trip, the old professional foul, as it used to be called, you know, yeah, okay, you can accept that. But when you're talking above the knee, that's reckless.
Hey, you must have wished that a lot of this was in when you were playing.
I'd still be playing, Al, to be honest. If it was a game where you can't kick each other, I'd still be playing. But no, you've got to cut these things out, and that was reckless. Like I said, with no intent of going for the ball.
And Hersey makes a good point. If he's making a challenge for the ball and he catches him on the ankles, yeah, fine, no problem. He's made an attempt for the ball. The ball's there to try and be won. But where he's caught him, right up the knee, and of course Aguero left the field of play for an injury, and I think, you know, Hersey's actually right. Had it round the, yeah, no problem with the yellow card, but for where it caught him was a career-threatening challenge, to be honest with you.
Well, just moving on to the Arsenal game against Stoke, it was a 2-0 win. John Moss was in charge. In this one, I think you felt there should have been a red card. Again, it doesn't appear to have been widely highlighted.
Yes, well, I mean, the Stoke player was on the attack. The forward was attacking, and he's coming with a blatant elbow and knocks him down to the ground. And for me, the referee John Moss is looking at it, where he's looking at what's going on the touchline, because it was in his view line. He's looking straight down the barrow, I should say, and I fully expect that the Football Association should take retrospective action on that offence, because it was a clear act of violent conduct.
Okay, well, moving on to a good spot now from a referee, I think you'll agree, Bobby Madley. Yeah. Now, this was in the Watford-Swansea game, a 1-0 home win there for Watford, and Valon Berami, a stamp, and he gets the red card, but it needs spotting, I suppose.
Yeah, it needs. I mean, we've been very praiseworthy of Madley this season, and I think he's done well. I mean, his last game, I think it was was it Leicester Aston Villa? Was it? I think that was the game where we certainly have given him some clear simulation by the Villa attacker and done very well. And it's all about, you know, making your angles, getting into positions and seeing these offences. And I think he's lost a little bit of weight. He's making those runs. He's getting into those positions because he's a little bit fitter. And I just like the way he sort of just took his time. He hasn't gone jumping in. He hasn't brought out the yellow card quickly or brought out the red card quickly. He's thought about it. He's played the incident back in his mind. He was cool. He was calm. He's gone across, issued the red card, and there was no complaints whatsoever. So I thought he'd done very well.
Sunderland Spurs, very, very quickly. Craig Pawson, I think there were a couple of penalties missed here. I think Jermaine Defoe was pulled, but earlier than that, there was some grappling, wasn't there, in the area, and Tottenham should have had a... Yeah,
we've highlighted this once before about Craig. I think this is a flaw in his game. It's about being brave and being strong. You're not there to make friends. You're there to referee a football match, and we've seen it before. We've seen it at Anfield against Bournemouth. I think we saw it in his game at Chelsea, where they felt that they should have had a penalty, clear pull on Zuma. So I think that's something that they need to look at with Craig, and I think he's just got to look at his own demeanour as well. You know, he just seems to be strolling through games. There don't seem to be that sprint in his game. There doesn't seem to be that, you know, to get into the position, to get in. Like we're looking at Mark Clattenburg. Look at Mike Dean as well. You know, the sprints they put into their game to get themselves into that position, to make that angle. And I just think that, you know, someone needs to get hold of Craig.
We've been over the situation, this grappling situation. It's got to be stamped out, and the referees have got to be the lead target in that, of making that a penalty, or a foul at least. You know. In whichever way, It's got to be dealt with by the referee on a permanent basis.
Running out of time on this. In the second half, we'll talk about Leicester and Aston Villa. What an incredible game. Leicester winning 3-2. And a major talking point involving Stuart Atwell, who was recalled again to the Premier League. And there's a big talking point there. Where it was only a goalless draw between West Brom and Southampton about, was it a penalty? Was it not a penalty? Was it a dive? Was it not a dive? And the two managers seemed at odds in that as well, didn't they? Yeah. You know, and I know you two guys have got different views on it. But Leicester coming back from 3-2 down.
I watched the game, cracking game, absolute cracking game.
And this was refereed there by Mike Dean.
Excellent game.
I'm going to say, yeah, I mean, he did add to the game, to be fair. I mean, the two teams played a great part, but I thought Mike handled it very well on a lot of different occasions as well during the game.
They're very reliable.
It was an penalty incident, we'll talk about that in the second half.
Well, we will do. Rejoin us for that. We're talking about the FA making a start against Cheats and also goal line technology. The big debate rears its head again, this time in the Championship. Join us for all of that.